Oh boy, it has. It's been some time since the last one of these, but I wanted to get back into it, so here we are. After the last video where I set up the grammar reader, I had a bunch of memory issues going on, and I needed to figure out where my memory leaks were happening and what the hell was going on. I didn't have a great way to do that other than just tracing my program line by line, and I really didn't want to do that. So what I did was I basically implemented my own malloc function, which is quite helpful because it means that now whenever I allocate memory, it's kept track of. So basically it's not a garbage collector because it doesn't check for when things are out of scope and then automatically delete them. It just keeps track of what memory I have allocated and what memory is freed and all that. So basically, I've got a bunch of stuff set up. My own pointer struct, which lets me also keep track of where it was allocated, so I can actually print out the file and line number, which is really nice. This is the custom malloc function, which is pretty simple. It just calls malloc, and then it does some other stuff to keep track of the file and the line, the size of the block that's allocated and everything. And then at the end of the program, if you call this cleanup function, it will check through all of the allocated memory that it's keeping track of, and it'll print out okay, I'm freeing all this memory, and if it has to free anything, that means that I forgot to free something. So if that happens, it'll tell me I got some work to do. So yeah, that whole thing is pretty cool, and I can demonstrate that if I just run the program here. And you can see that I have a segmentation fault. What's going on there, huh? I know what I changed. So I added in this program grammar that is supposed to represent the entire program, as in okay, the program can either be a single statement or it can be a list of statements. So that would be statement program, but it appears that that has caused an issue. So my demonstration has gone awry. I guess I need to look into this now. I'm actually gonna run it again because that'll at least let me check through this and see if I can find where the issue is. And I can still show off how this custom malloc works. So you can see anytime memory is allocated, it prints it out and says where it's being allocated and how big it is and what the address is. I guess I'll step through this grammar function here. The build grammar function is what is reading this in. So node program means it's reading this and figuring out what to do with it. And it says it has 0, 1, 2 expansions, which is interesting because it has 2 expansions, but it says it has 3. Oh, am I silly? Is it because there's a tab here? What if I do this? Okay, well now we're in an infinite loop. So that's cool.
20 minutes later.
So basically the issue here is that inside of this free nodes not in tree function, which is supposed to go through here and free any unused nodes. So for instance, if we had one here that was just called node, and it was just test or something, it would get rid of that because that's not being referenced from any of the non-terminals, so it's useless. It would just remove that from the grammar entirely. The issue is it goes recursively through these, so when it hits program and sees that one of its children in this expansion is program, then it just goes back up here and says, what is program? Statement, program. What is program? Statement, program, and so on. So it keeps looping infinitely. So what I'm doing is I'm just going to test if one of the children of an expansion has the same name as the root here that's being checked, then it just doesn't worry about it. So that's what this is going to do. And then I need to, I guess, continue out of that. Well, fuck it, let's test it. I don't know if this is gonna work, but... Okay, nope, that's not working. Well, it looks like it's coming from here, from free tree. And this is a function that's supposed to free the entire syntax tree after the program is done compiling. Okay, I got it. So I basically just needed to do the same thing in this other function. Just need to check if it's the same as its expansion. Actually, I don't even need to compare the names. I can literally compare if root equals root expansions ij, because they are the same pointer. Yep. Program is a child of itself. Yeah, okay. That is awesome, and now you can see this, so we had the custom malloc, we also have custom free, and that shows all the same information, basically. And then at the end, this is the cleanup function that I showed, where it says cleaning up memory, and then finished, freed 0 unfreed pointers, so that means I had no memory leaks. And I could run this without my custom malloc, just using the built-in stuff, and it would work just the same. So I didn't mention this earlier, but the custom malloc and free functions are actually being called through macros, which just means basically whenever I type malloc, calloc, or free, it just tells the program, hey, that should actually be calling my malloc, my calloc, my free instead of those. And that's really convenient because it means if I want to take out all this debug stuff, if I've tested it and made sure that I don't have any leaks, all I need to do is comment out this include for the debug.h file, comment out cleanup since that comes from that as well, and then if I make it and run it again, you can now see it doesn't have any of the custom stuff being printed. Like, it doesn't have the cleanup function at the end, it doesn't have any of the allocation stuff. There are still some pointers being printed here, but that's just being directly printed from some functions in the grammar builder file. Well, that's that for the custom memory debugger. I was planning on just showing off how this works real quick, and then jumping into some other stuff. But of course, every time I want to show off something I made, I find some new bugs to fix. That's good though, hopefully this thing will work consistently now. And next time we'll plan out how parsing is actually going to work, and get started on the code for that. I hope you'll stick around.